Here's a question I got, and it just makes me crazy when I hear stuff like this. And the nonsensical advice people give someone when they ask this question. So here it is. When applying for a job on LinkedIn, should I also InMail the person who posted it as well? So I go crazy when I hear this stuff because the answers invariably come down to how someone would be perceived, that they're seen as being savvy, that you really must like the company if you then follow up with an InMail. Man, this is all the propaganda that LinkedIn tries to give out, and it isn't true. Here's what you ought to do. You see a firm that's advertising on LinkedIn. There's a name there, right? Don't go through the conveyor belt. Don't get on that conveyor belt where your resume is delivered to the applicant tracking system. Instead, here's what you do. You call up the firm, get the extension of that individual or the direct dial number, and you call them. And you say, I was doing some networking and someone mentioned you might be trying to hire someone with, and you describe the role. Don't know if that's true or not. If it is, I'd like to talk with you about the position and see how I might be able to be of help. Now, that's if you're taking the better way, and that is generally HR people are the one advertising on LinkedIn. Here's the better way. You try and locate the hiring manager at that firm. How do you do that? Well, you try and figure out the title. You go to the corporate page and see if you're connected to other people who might be at that firm. Not connected on the corporate page? Well, I'll tell you, there are Chrome extensions that will help you. So, for example, there's one called Prophet, Prophet, that will help you identify people and their email addresses. Lucia, actually, with these will help you with the email addresses. But what you also try to do is do Google searches to identify people at that firm, because Google will search for public profiles of individuals. Now, think in terms of, well, here's a simpler way. There's a site called li-usa.info. It's a Google custom search engine that only searches LinkedIn public profiles. So you might just simply search by name of the company, and then see if you can detect the title structure from the responses. So let's say it's, Facebook or Goldman Sachs or Citadel or whomever it is. See if you can detect the title structure from the responses you start getting. And then from there, you use tools like Prophet, Connectifier, Lucia, Lusha. These are Chrome extensions that will help you find people. Context Scout is another one. But what you're trying to do is find the people within that organization who might be the hiring manager. And you might just simply say, hi, I understand that there's a position open for such and such. Would you happen to know who the hiring manager is for that role? No, I don't know. But, is there someone you might be able to point me to who might be able to help, who could give me a sense of who the right person might be? And again, what you're trying to do is to find the right individual at that organization who could help with finding the person and network your way into a direct contact. And yes, it involves some more work, but let's be practical. If you get on the conveyor belt into the applicant tracking system's mouth, you remember what that's called? The black hole. What's the point of going through that exercise? Instead, follow through by trying to find the hiring manager and connecting with them instead of going to, getting on the conveyor belt to your resume's demise. Hope you found this helpful. There's a lot more at JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. Visit the site, sign up. Let me help you. Have a great day.